This is some of the craziest shit that I've ever seen in the stock market. SST is a special purpose acquisition company that recently de-SPACed, which means that it completed its merger and it's no longer a special purpose acquisition company. When these de-SPACs happen, the free float, the way that it gets counted is completely different, and it completely screws up on the exchanges on Ortex and on S3. The way that they calculate their free floats, it does not work out right. So this is a stock that has the incorrect free float amount, and I can prove it to you guys with the SEC filing, and it has 400% short interest. This is not right. This is not right. And there's so much more on top of it, and it pisses me off. I'm keeping my cool right now. But you guys are going to be upset by this one. So, full disclosure, I did make a position in this play. So, understand, if it goes up, I make money, all right? So, you know that right off the bat from this video. Here's what we saw, all right? So, yesterday, this thing ran from $18 a share up to $37 per share, all right? And then it completely dumped off right back to its old original value. Definitely 100% due to the fact that retail investors were buying this thing up, and then they all sold off. Every single last one of them that bought in sold it off, right? No, I'm joking. This is crazy. This is fraud, and I'm going to prove it to you guys. Starting right here. So, like I mentioned, this is in an SEC filing. Page 51, and this filing right here, page 51, I linked it on my Twitter. If you guys want to check it out yourself, follow me on Twitter. You'll find this tweet. This filing suggests that the free float of Trivia, which is the company that they merged with, is 700,000 shares. The rest of the shares are owned by the founder, by seller equity considerations right there, Canay backstops, all right? So the total outstanding shares is 106 million shares, right? All these numbers, you can add up these percentage points yourself. Trust me, they add up to 100%. And Trivia shareholders, aka the free float of the company, is only 700,000 shares. This was confirmed with investor relations as well. This is real. This is a 700,000 share float. If we're looking at Ortex, it says they only have 21% short interest. This is how hedge funds get away with over shorting a company, because it's 2.82 million shares currently being shorted. They have the wrong float here on Ortex because, like I said, they calculate it wrong. They say it's 12.82 million or 87 million right there. So it'll show up as only 20% shorted. Not crazy, not super crazy. But when you actually look at this filing yourself, you see it's a 700,000 share float, and this number has been confirmed. This is not a conspiracy theory. They have a 700,000 share float. That puts them at 400% short interest. You see it right here. This is 403% short interest percentage of free float. There are 4 times as many shares shorted as shares that actually exist. But wait, it gets even crazier than that alone. It's not only the short interest. Don't even get me started with the failure to delivers or in the money calls. Here you guys can see the in the money calls that were sold to open this week. What does sell to open mean, guys? Selling to open a call option means that you are selling the right to buy a stock at a certain strike price. If that is in the money, which all of these call options are, the stock is trading at $20 per share right now, and these call options are all under $20 per share. They were sold to open. That means that there needs to be collateral on the other side of the trade. So this was for 4,815 contracts. If these are going to be exercised, if these contracts get exercises, the market maker has to deliver 481,000 shares. So again, with a 700,000 free float, as seen right here, right in plain sight, And again, right here in plain sight, they sold to open. They completely wrote this contract out, these contracts all out of thin air, right? And they need to have the collateral of 481,000 shares. Now, given this is only if it gets exercised, all right? They would get exercised for that amount of shares. They're essentially banking that these don't necessarily get exercised, which is why most of these are probably coming after April 14th, figuring that they can end up driving these down. And then some of these they won't even have to cover. For example, if by May 20th it gets underneath $10 per share, they don't even have to cover any of this, right? They're sourcing liquidity by naked shorting these calls because they definitely don't have the collateral if these get exercised. Most of these have over a 50 delta. So even at 240,000, which they are supposed to be delta hedged, even at 240,000, you're still cutting it close. That's still a very large percentage of the float. And then you also have these naturally shorted shares, 282 million. And now we're going to get into the failure to delivers. So here you guys can see these are the failure to delivers from March 14th, March 11th, March 10th, March 9th. It was 1.1 million on March 9th, 1.3 million here on March 10th, 1.35 million on March 11th, and almost 1.6 million on March 14th. That adds up to 5.38 million failure to delivers that need to be covered within T plus 35 days. They literally failed to deliver. Let's do the math. They literally failed to deliver almost 8x the free float of this stock. This means they sold 8 times as many shares than actually existed. This is insane. On top of this, they sold all of these in the money calls, and there's already 2.8 million shares shorted at a 400% short interest. Oh, and you thought that was it. You thought this was it right here. They also short exempted, which is essentially naked shorting yesterday. You see this big sell-off that was definitely retail. No, this was just more fake shares being printed. 100,000. This is 14% of the free float yesterday was short exempted. They have to deliver short exempts within 6 days or they pay a massive major fine. This price action that I'm seeing here is the most bullshit thing I have seen all month. But as you guys can see, if they lose control like they did yesterday, they get wrecked. It went up to $37 per share. Imagine the obligation. Imagine how much money they will owe, how much they will get squeezed if we can keep this stock price up. How is this not complete and blatant fraud in plain daylight? How is this not fraud? This is fraud. This is illegal. Why does this keep happening? I'm genuinely so pissed off. This statistically does not add up. And they sure as hell don't have the collateral to back this up as well. They're preying on the fact that they can suppress the price and collect that premium and use that premium as their collateral because they don't have it. They don't have it. They failed to deliver over 8x the float as of last month. Who the fuck knows what they're doing now on this insane volume? They're completely over leveraged. This is absolute insanity. I've not seen anything like this. Anyways, I really think you guys should give a watch to this video if you have not already. I'll definitely link it in the description or something. It is from Astro. He's on YouTube as well. It's called Short Seller's Secret Weapon, and definitely pay attention to the part this chapter right here where it says explaining hedging. That's gonna show you guys how this all works out in the end. Honestly, I don't have any more words. The proof is there. The due diligence is there. Think it's a conspiracy theory if you want, but it's literally in the SEC filings, so you can do that due diligence yourself. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyways, if you guys are also pissed off about this absolute atrocity in the stock market, make sure you guys share the video. People need to understand this, guys. This is insane. Share the due diligence. You can buy the stock if you want. It's not financial advice to go out there and buy the stock. But yeah, guys, that's about it. That was a wild one.